Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to spruce up the entrance beds to the nursery. Oh my gosh, it is a fantastic, gorgeous, beautiful day here at Creekside Nursery and at Dallas, North Carolina, a Zone 8A. And we need to give some love and attention to this entrance bed at the sign, the gate, the main entrance into the nursery. And then we're going to make our way down to the creek, kind of the second entrance as you go right to the garden center. There's a flower bed that needs some love. We are going to plant some brand new hydrangeas. I've never used these before in my landscape. I am excited to try these out. They should make an absolute beautiful statement in the garden come this summer. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing a little pruning. We're going to cut back some perennial grasses. We're going to fertilize. We're just going to spruce everything up, give it a little TLC here at really like the end of winter as we make our way into spring in North Carolina. Around here, we don't look at the calendar to see if it's officially spring, although official spring is on its way. We just pay attention to the signs that nature is giving us. The frogs are croaking at the pond. I can hear them right now. Things are leafing out. Plants are waking up. It's a great time to be in the garden. So that is what we're going to do. So let me just walk you through really quickly what we're going to do, and then we're actually going to get to it because I've got a lot of things to do today. One, give you a quick little update on the mailbox bed. You were with me when I planted this in the fall with some really sweet little violas and some of the artemisia. So here we go, gorgeous, really doing quite nicely. When I say that I literally have not touched this flower bed since I planted it, that's exactly what I mean. I haven't watered it, I haven't fertilized it, I have done nothing to it. And so for it to look like this makes me very happy. After the winter that we have had, for us, we have had a cooler winter than we typically have. And these violas, man, they do not care. They're a loving life. There's a few weeds in here, so we're going to come in here and get those weeds out. But overall, like I said, could not be more pleased with how this bed is doing. And you can see, so for those of you that maybe your tulips are perennials for you, this is why we replace tulips every single year. So this is a tulip that didn't get pulled out last year, and there you go. There is one sad little leaf. There's another one right over here. This will not flower, and so this is why tulips are annuals for us and why we pull them out every year. Our winters don't stay cold enough consistently long enough for them to vernalize and produce pretty flowers. But violas are doing great, super, super happy. The main project is this little section over here because y'all, it is just sad and it's embarrassing when people come to the nursery to see this. So we have 3 perennial grasses here. I do not know what kind they are. They were hand-me-downs from my mama. In the summertime, they are gorgeous. Clearly their time has come to an end. We need to prune them back. I like leaving my perennial grasses to have that foliage and interest throughout the season, but their time is done, and so we're going to shear them back because they're going to be popping up new growth really soon. We're going to get rid of all these leaves that have collected here, shear them back, and then I like to go ahead and get this area with a fresh layer of mulch down right here. It will make a huge difference, and it will make the garden look like it's loved and taken care of. And then over here, not so much that we need to do over here. I need to do a little bit of pruning. I've got my golden euonymus right here that is loving life. She needs to be just cleaned up a little bit. I've got some tall stems that are a little out of whack. We're just going to kind of take care of those. And then I have the old classic Annabelle hydrangeas right along the fence. They too need to be pruned back because those will bloom on new growth, and so we need to go ahead and get those sheared back some so that they can start popping out fresh, new, beautiful color and give me lots and loads of flowers. And then I do have with me, I have my plant tone and I have my holly tone. Those are going to be my 2 main weapons of choice today in fertilizing these plants, because as we come out of winter and we're going into spring, I equate it to like a bear waking up from hibernation. Your plants have been asleep all winter. They're beginning to wake up. They're putting on new growth. They need that food to give them the energy to produce their beautiful foliage and their gorgeous flowers for us this season. So we're going to feed them. It is really, really easy. I literally feed my trees, shrubs, perennials one time a year, and that is it. So like I said, I've got that. So yeah, we're just going to get after it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to prune these grasses. Prune the grasses, get that cleaned up, and let me show you how easy it is to prune your grasses, even if they're really big. Okay, my friends, so what you're going to need for this task is some twine, a rope, a bungee cord, something that we're going to wrap around kind of the middle of this grass, cinch it up like a big old giant ponytail. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take our hedge trimmers and we are going to give it a flat top at the bottom. The rope, the twine, the bungee cord just keeps all of this foliage intact, and so it doesn't make such a mess. You absolutely could come in here with your clippers, your pruners, cut it back, your chainsaw, just the hedge trimmers. I even know people around here that burn the grass. So maybe not the safest choice sometimes, but you absolutely, the idea is we want to get rid of all of this foliage because this is dead. It was last year's growth. It is not going to come back to life. We want to get rid of this before the new growth starts to pop up. So it'll be interesting to see if I already have some new growth down in there. So I'm going to tie it up, show you how easy this is to do. All right, y'all, literally that took me, what, I don't know, a minute to even do that. Now, I do have new green growth popping up. Great, perfect, fine, not a problem. The only thing that I'm gonna do differently on the other two is I'm gonna try to get my string a little higher because on the one side it was super low. And when I went through to cut it, the grass, I cut my twine. So it still came up really easily. So I'm gonna get the other two done. Then we're gonna blow all these leaves out of here so that we can see what we've got. I've got some weeds popping up. I've got some little baby cedar trees. We need to get those out. If you see a weed, pull a weed. And then once we're done up here, we're gonna go ahead and get some fresh mulch and lay it down right in this area. Friends, I have got the grass bed all done. Look at that. I know I said I wasn't gonna do the mulch until the end, but I changed my mind. I was like, well, we're in the space where you're going to go ahead and get it complete. So as you can see, grasses, nice flat top to them. You can see that there is some green popping up. Ideally, you would prune it before the green starts coming up. That way you don't cut any of the little green off. But again, this is at the entrance. Very few people see this up close. It is from a distance. I promise when they're in big and beautiful, it will be perfectly fine. I did go ahead and blow out the leaves. We have tons of leaves. Move them back there. That way I could find the weeds and then get the mulch down. Went ahead and gave the grasses some plant tone. So some nice all-purpose slow release fertilizer. It was about 2 cups per plant, and I just went around the outside of it, sprinkled it down, gave some to the aspidistra, the cast iron plant as well, just gave a little sprinkle on that, and then just put the mulch on, right? So having this mulch here, nice thick layer of mulch, will help retain moisture because there is no irrigation on this flower bed. Retain moisture, and most importantly, in my opinion, keep the weeds out. Nice thick mulch helps reduce the weeds tremendously. And then of course, it makes it look very pretty. So just got it all spread out nice and even. This is some bulk mulch that Jerry has gotten. It is like a, I don't know if you consider it like a double hammered, you know, it's all natural. It is not dyed brown. So this will age very nicely here, and it will blend in to the natural setting and be just fine. Once these grasses get huge, trust me, you're not going to see mulch at all. You're going to see the beautiful grasses. So now what we're going to do is we're pretty much done. That was the hardest part of the project today up here. And so what I'm going to do now is just come in here and do a little bit of pruning. I have some weigelas right here. I am not going to prune those because they will bloom. So I'm going to leave those alone. And then I have several macrophylla hydrangeas in here. So there's one here, and then there's 3 or 4 up in this area. Not going to touch those at all. Those are part of the Let's Dance series from Proven Winners. They bloom on old growth and new growth. So I do not want to touch them, because whenever you prune those reblooming hydrangeas, you're going to lose some flowers at one of those points. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to leave them alone. And then the only thing that I am going to prune, like I said earlier, was the golden euonymus. Shape her up a little bit right here, and then go ahead and trim the Annabelles. And then we will fertilize this bed, and then we will be done. All right, my friends, so got the bed pruned, fertilized, all cleaned up. No, I didn't show you that because basically I just went around and sprinkled fertilizer everywhere, and it was super easy to do the euonymus. You can tell, so not a crazy prune. If you didn't know that I had pruned it, you would just think it's just a lovely shape. So all I did was come in on these stems that were nice and tall. You can see we've got new growth just popping out everywhere. So I just cut the stem right there above those 2 little leaves that are forming. These 2 will become stems. And so that's how you just keep it nice and tight, and just did that kind of all over. Anything that was like super tall, got a little fertilizer right there. Anything that was super tall and out of form with the rest of the euonymus, just, you know, trimmed it back a little bit. Again, does not need a massive shearing. I just wanted to bring it nice and tight in. And then the same thing with the Annabelles over there. You prune it like any kind of panicle or smooth hydrangea. That is what these are. And so you got your little sticks up there. The Annabelles kind of spread a little bit. They're fine. They will get floppy after they start blooming, but they're so pretty, and so I just leave them, and they're fine. It works in this area, and they'll be covered in gorgeous flowers, so we just kind of leave it alone. Everything else is doing well. Again, just sprinkled fertilizer everywhere. And then I went back with the rake and kind of smoothed some things out, kind of worked in that fertilizer, and then boom, there you go. There's nothing else for me to do in this flower bed until I want to add some annuals. Not going to add anything in here until all of my perennials pop up, my shrubs start to flush out. And so every year in this flower bed, I add less and less annuals, which is fantastic because this develops like there's hostas in there, there's astilbes, there's ferns, there's all sorts of great things in there. And so let those come back when there's a little hole, there's a pocket. If I want to stick an annual in there, then there you go. I do want to show you just a little update on down here on the end. This is the Golden Shadows Pagoda Dogwood from Proven Winners. And it's a cool dogwood. I don't know if you can see, but if the sticks are showing up, but it's more of a horizontal. So the branching on it is very horizontal, variegated foliage. It is stunning. Got this as a small 1 gallon, and man, it is just doing really, really well right here. And so that's always fun to see in the summertime with that gorgeous foliage on it. So yeah, so really happy with how the pagoda is doing. And so now what we're gonna do is, one, Jenny's gonna go grab some lunch because I haven't eaten lunch. Go eat some lunch, come back, and I will meet you down at the creek. We've got to prune some Chindo viburnums. They are very happy where they are, and they are like that euonymus where they're just kind of out of kilter with each other. So we're going to kind of clean those up a little bit. I think Jackson's going to help me. We've got to limb up a cedar. I have a giant cedar down there, so he's going to limb that up. And then I'm going to plant, I think, 3 brand new hydrangeas. Very excited. So go get some lunch. I'll meet you back here in just a little bit. Friends, my time in the garden today has come to an end. I got done what I said I was going to do. I pruned and I got the hydrangeas planted, but I'm just going to let you know, it drives me crazy having to walk away from this project with it not being completed. Now, tomorrow morning, Jackson and the guys, I think, are going to come over here and complete it for me. So this is going to be a to be continued situation here at this flower bed. I will bring you back when it's all said and done and it looks all pretty and it's all buttoned up and it looks nice. I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. But for now, let's just show you what it looks like right now. Yeah, so keep in mind that because of the massive amount of water that comes off all these hills, because the creek is right here. And so we had to install these dry creek beds. There's one that goes here, and then there's one that comes back here. So we had this little island bed that we do annuals in. Right now, you can't even see this one because of all the debris from the leaves, the sticks, the wind, the rain. This one is completely clogged up right now. So Jackson has assured me it's gonna look like $1 million when he and the guys get done with it tomorrow. That being said, on so dry creek bed on the other side, that's where the flowerfuls are. So there's 3 of them there. We do have irrigation in these beds. So that's what the brown tubing is. Just kind of snaked it around. And I know they're not in a straight line. I didn't want it to be a straight line. They're just ever so slightly offset from each other. But you can just see, like, look at all those sticks and leaves, and oh my word, oh, drives me crazy. But what does not drive me crazy is getting those chindos evened up. So the crazy tallness is gone off of them and they are more balanced now. And of course, like with any other shrub, when you prune it, then it is going to go ahead and branch out. So this is where I pruned it, and I've got 2 little buds right here. Those are going to form separate stems, and then they'll get nice and thick. Same thing right here. That was a big one. These will form branches and get nice and thick, but you can see through there how much better they look. And then to give you a big perspective here of the cedar tree, Jackson and I, he would saw a little bit and then we would step back. He'd saw and we would step back. So I'm not sure how the camera is showing this because the sun is challenging right now, but basically just limit all of that up right now and getting some light, some air circulation, because the cedar tree was actually, the cedar and the chindos were getting to know each other a little too well. So now we're much more balanced and even through there. So also went ahead and got the Quickfire Fabs, got them pruned. Y'all don't overthink your pruning on your panicle and your smooth hydrangeas. They are tough. You do not have to be super precise. You can just go in there and just go for it. If you have hedge trimmers, you absolutely could use your hedge trimmers and just go in through there and basically making sure that you get all of those stems, get them cut. There are 5 of the hydrangeas right through here and make just a beautiful display when they are in bloom. So I feel very productive. I feel very accomplished. Yet on the other side, I also feel like, oh, I didn't get everything done. I have Jerry will attest to this all the time. I have the hardest time managing like real expectations in my brain versus like what can actually get done. My brain says we can get a ton of stuff done. Like, no problem. We could get that bid what we did. We can get all of this done and it's not gonna be a problem. We'll be done by mid-afternoon. No, not with one person. And so that doesn't work very well. So I'm working on setting realistic expectations, but it feels good to be in the garden. Everything is taken care of and bit by bit, you get it done, right? So whether you have 15 minutes or 5 hours in the garden, just accomplishing some little piece makes you feel better, and I do feel better. I'm just ready to get this portion done now. All right, so if you have enjoyed this video, if it has encouraged you or inspired you or given you some information, we would love it if you would like the video and then of course subscribe to Gardening with Creekside so that you don't miss any of our 5 videos that we produce every week. Y'all have an amazing day. It's gorgeous out here. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.